Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today, your primetime destination. News, newsmakers, talking points. It's another big news day and we'll have all of it here covered this Friday night. The big story, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to visit Manipur 2.5 years after ethnic violence broke out there. Is it too little too late or can that visit make a difference? Also, we have our other big talking point, which is on Indo-Pak cricket. All eyes will be on that big game on Sunday. Is this the right time to be playing Pakistan? We'll ask that question too. But first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9 tonight. There's a new regime in Nepal. Former Chief Justice Sushila Karki is to take oath at the presidential palace. A state of emergency is imposed in Kathmandu from tonight. Kulman Ghising being considered for a ministerial post. Prime Minister Modi set to visit Manipur tomorrow for the first time since ethnic violence broke out in 2023, killing more than 200 people. The Prime Minister will lay a foundation stone for projects worth 8,500 crores, also meet internally displaced persons. Trump supporter Charlie Kirk's shooter Tyler Robinson arrested. He confessed to his father about killing Charlie, who then contacted the sheriff department. Trump to attend Kirk's funeral. A 50-year-old Indian, Manchand Nagamalia, beheaded at a motel in Dallas after an argument. Entire incident captured in CCTV. Attacker arrested, charged with capital murder. C.P. Radhakrishnan takes oath as the 15th Vice President of India. Prime Minister Modi and his cabinet in attendance. Jagdeep Dhankar seen in public for the first time since resigning in July. Showdown over Bihar Congress social media teams. AI video on Prime Minister's mother. BJP goes all guns blazing. Claims Congress is insulting Prime Minister's mother again. Congress says AI video is simply that of a mother educating her child. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah announces a fresh caste census in a state which will cost approximately 420 crores. Says 2015 caste survey report has been rejected by his government. A close shave for SpiceJet's Kandla to Mumbai flight after a wheel falls off the plane post takeoff. Plane makes emergency landing at Mumbai airport. All passengers are safe. Delhi and Mumbai High Court vacated after receiving hoax bomb threats this morning. Chief Justice of India B.R. Gavai intervenes, seeks a report from the Secretary General of the Supreme Court. At the moment, former Chief Justice, the story breaking at this moment, the former Chief Justice of Nepal, Sushila Karki, is being sworn in as we speak and will take oath as Nepal's Prime Minister shortly. The Nepal Parliament is to be dissolved and a state of emergency will be imposed from midnight. The Gen Z protesters will not join the government. Oli's party has opposed the parliament dissolution, but all is now clear. It appears that Sushila Karki, who has been the preferred choice of Nepal's young, has finally agreed to become the new Prime Minister of an interim government there in Nepal. After days of uncertainty, more than 24 people killed, protests across Nepal falling, which led to the exit of Prime Minister Oli. Let's go straight across to Amit Bhardwaj, who has that big story for us. Amit, Sushila Karki taking oath any time now, and I'm told at midnight tonight a state of emergency will be imposed and Parliament could be dissolved. Give us the very latest.
Rajdeep, breaking it down for our viewers at this point in time, right from Kathmandu, the capital city of Nepal. Sushila Karki, the former Chief Justice of Nepal, is all set to take oath as the head of the interim government. You know, we can't use the term Prime Minister for now. We are waiting for that official order to come out, and what we are given to understand is that the term something around head of the interim government could be used. It could be chairman, it could be chairperson, it could be head of the interim government. So the terminology will be part of that official order that chips in as she will be taking oath as the head of the interim government. Along with this, there is a very clear-cut signal from the Gen Z top leadership to India today. I've spoken to the core committee members who were part of the deliberations with the army leadership and the meetings that have unfolded in the past 24 hours. They are pretty clear about it, that Gen Z core committee members or the Gen Zs will not be part of the cabinet of the interim government. That's a principled position they are taking at this point in time. Two reasons. Number one, to show that they did not bring this revolution to grab power immediately. Rather, they will be, if at all they want to come to the power, they will be going for election mode. Number two, that they are going to monitor the work of the interim government and suggest policy changes that needs to be done in the in Nepal. Hence, they will not be part of the cabinet, but the clarity on cabinet will come in some time from now. Back to you, Rajdeep.
Well, what we therefore very well know is that a committee is now going to be appointed to probe the allegations of corruption against politicians in Nepal. We'll wait and see if this leads to a complete dissolution now of parliament and possibly fresh elections that could take place in Nepal a few months from now. But for now, all eyes on Sushila Karki, former Chief Justice of Nepal and the person who will take over that interim government in Kathmandu. Appreciate your joining us, Amit Bhardwaj, who's been tracking all the developments there in Kathmandu. Now, there is an Indian tragedy that has also happened there in Nepal. An Indian tourist was killed during the violence in Nepal. This is a 55-year-old woman from Ghaziabad. She was staying at a hotel with her husband in upscale Kathmandu when the hotel was taken over by protesters who burnt it down. She tried to jump out of her window on the 4th floor. Sadly, she died of the injuries. Take a look at a story that is truly heartrending.
First Indian casualty in the two-day Gen Z protest in Nepal. Rajesh Gola, the 55-year-old victim, and her husband Ramveer Singh Gola were staying at the Hyatt in Kathmandu. The hotel came under attack on Tuesday.
दंगा आ गया 6 बजे पूरे होटल में आग लगा दी हमने ऊपर से कूद के जान बचाई इसमें मेरी पत्नी घायल हो गई हॉस्पिटल के उपचार के दौरान उनकी मृत्यु हम बड़े ना एम्बेसी ने कोई जवाब साथ दिया ना पुलिस ने ना आर्मी ने किसी ने कोई साथ नहीं दिया
Ramveer and Rajesh had already visited the Pashupatinath temple but were forced to extend their stay in Kathmandu.
हम गाजियाबाद से पशुपतिनाथ जी के दर्शन करने गए थे काठमांडू वहाँ पे होटल हयात रेजेंसी में रुके उसके बाद हम वहाँ से जाने लगे मिथिला तो उससे जब जाने लगे तो उससे पहले कर्फ्यू लग गया और एयरपोर्ट बंद हो गया हमने जाने की कोशिश करी फिर दोबारा भाड़ा देकर एक दिन का एक्सटेंड कराया होटल
Rajesh's body was brought from Kathmandu to Ghaziabad by road.
What you see behind me are heartbroken family members. The family is now claiming that they got no help neither from the authorities in Nepal nor from the government of Nepal. They even said that they reached out to the Ministry of External Affairs, but they got no help. Everything was done by the family themselves. They had to make several calls. The mortal remains of the wife of the transporter now is in Ghaziabad. They are still saying that there are hundreds of Indians still stuck in Nepal.
Meanwhile, many Indians are still stranded in Nepal.
क्या माहौल है वहाँ का माहौल अभी ऐसा ही हो रहा है माहौल अभी ऐसा ही है अभी चल रहा है अभी थोड़ा लॉकडाउन लगा हुआ है
30 workers from Dholpur district in Rajasthan are in Nepal. Their families are seeking their safe return.
नेपाल में सर मेरा 2 भाई हैं और मेरे कई चाचा भी हैं बगल के वो भी हैं और वो खाने पीने के लिए भी और काम के लिए की हर चीज के लिए परेशान हो रहे हैं और मेरी सरकार से निवेदन है, दरख्वास्त है कि कैसे भी करके हमारे भाइयों को और भी हमारे गांव के भी हैं, करीब 25 से 30 लोग हैं, उनको जल्दी से जल्दी शायद घर बुलाने की।
While there has been no violence in Nepal the last 2 days, the country is still in a limbo, awaiting a new interim government. Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, we're getting more breaking news. This time it is from the United States, where there is a big breakthrough in the Charlie Kirk shooting. That's right, the suspect in the killing of the key aide of Donald Trump, or a major Trump supporter, has been arrested. The assassin is identified as Tyler Robinson. Tyler Robinson is the suspect killer in the Charlie Kirk assassination. The killer was held some 250 miles away from the shooting site. Police claim that Tyler Robinson is in his 20s. The gunman's family member, his father, turned him in. Robinson is believed to have acted on his own, is what we are being told. So that's the big breakthrough at the moment that we are getting from the United States, where there is a breakthrough in the Charlie Kirk murder. Donald Trump has himself confirmed that on his social media site, that the breakthrough in the Charlie Kirk murder case. Well, we're getting more breaking news this Friday evening, and this is a big one. Prime Minister Modi, 2.5 years after the ethnic violence in Manipur claimed more than 200 lives, is finally visiting Manipur tomorrow, and heavy security now in Manipur ahead of that major prime ministerial visit. Mr. Modi will visit both Churachandpur, which is Kuki dominated, and Imphal, which is Meitei dominated. The Prime Minister is expected to launch projects worth 8,500 crores, and he will also meet the families, some of them still in relief camps, who've suffered because of the ethnic violence. I want to go straight across to Indrajit Kundu, our Eastern Bureau Chief, who joins me now from Imphal. Give us the very latest, Indrajit. We are told that there is very tight security because there were even protests last time, demonstrations as last night, and attempts being made to try and create an atmosphere of fear. Tell us exactly what's happening at the moment in Imphal ahead of the big prime ministerial visit.
Well, there is major anticipation as far as this visit is concerned, and I've been talking to a huge cross-section of people from both sides of the ethnic divide. While everybody is welcoming the Prime Minister's visit, all of them have said that this comes a little late. Perhaps he could have visited the state sometime earlier. Things would have been a little better. But nonetheless, now that it is happening 2 years down the line, there is a lot of expectation and anticipation. There are certain fringe groups which did, of course, protest last night, even in Churachandpur. But, that is not something that has deterred the administration. Strict, action has been taken, and also, heightened security across Manipur, both in Churachandpur as well as across Imphal. We've seen multiple agencies, the Army, the Central Paramilitary Forces, as well as the State Police working in tandem. Prime Minister would, of course, be first going to Churachandpur. Right. He would be meeting internally displaced people there and addressing a public rally. And he will do the same once he comes to the valley here and in capital Imphal. He will be meeting those internally displaced and also reach out to the other people at a public rally at the Kangla Fort in the city.
Let's then look at why this visit is significant. Indrajit has been speaking to a variety of voices across Manipur's ethnic divide. He sent us this report earlier today. Take a look.
After 2 years of ethnic clash, Manipur hopes to heal in the coming months. The Prime Minister's promised visit on the 13th of September to Imphal would play a significant role in this process.
Honorable PM will be arriving in Manipur on 13th September 2025 from Aizawl. On his arrival at Churachandpur, around 12:15 p.m. He will first interact with some of the internally displaced persons in the district. The Honorable Prime Minister will address the public gathering at Peace Ground, Churachandpur.
Security has been heightened across Manipur and of course in capital Imphal. There is army, central paramilitary forces and of course the Manipur police working in tandem to make full-proof security arrangements in the state ahead of the Prime Minister's high-profile visit. Now, the Prime Minister will be addressing two events. One, of course, here at the Kangla Fort, which is a historic site in the capital Imphal. He is also supposed to visit Churachandpur, the other area which has been completely strife-torn in the past 2 years. Churachandpur, of course, is a tribal-dominated hill district, and that has been at the epicenter of the ethnic crisis in the past 2 years.
Over the past 27 months, Manipur witnessed prolonged periods of intense violence and displacement. More than 60 kilometers from Imphal in the hills, Churachandpur was the place where it all began and where it continued to smolder all along. The fault lines between the Kuki and the Meitei communities have not closed. There are around 57,000 people in over 280 relief camps across the Meitei majority valley and the Kuki-Zo majority hills in Manipur. They have witnessed the brunt of the 2-year-long ethnic clashes raging across the state.
We are immensely pleased that the PM of India is coming to our district for the first time in the long history of India, and we heartily welcome him. And along with this visit, we are hopeful that the Kuki people, the Kuki-Zo Council and the Kuki-Zo people, that there should be an amicable solution in spite of the ongoing conflict in Manipur.
I think it's very unfortunate that he come very late to the people of Manipur.
The boundaries between valley districts where Meiteis are in a majority and hill districts where Kuki-Zos are in a majority have hardened in the past 2 years.
It's a little bit late for him to come now because many people have lost their life and their house has been burned. A lot of weapons and other things are flowing all over the state, even though combing operation is carried out, but still I think there are many issues, ground realities which we don't know.
It's not useful. Like he is already late. It's been 2.5 years. There is no use of him coming here.
The Union Home Ministry has been constantly in talks with groups on both sides separately.
Ever since ethnic conflict broke out in Manipur, it has been a long-standing demand from the people in the state that Prime Minister himself visit Manipur at least once. That moment has finally arrived. However, it has taken 2 long years. Since then, people from both sides of the ethnic divide, be it the Kukis in the hill districts or the Meiteis in the valley, have begun to piece together their life from the ruins of the ethnic conflict. The big question that now looms large, whether or not the Prime Minister's visit will be able to bridge the trust deficit between the 2 ethnic communities. With camera person Tapas Bairi, Indrajit for India Today in Manipur.
Let's raise the big questions then. Prime Minister Manipur outreach, is it too little too late? Delivering justice is really the key to Manipur peace? Is it time to lift President's rule and hold elections? And is Manipur still the biggest security challenge for the Modi government? Questions I want to raise. Joining me now, Lieutenant General Khonzam Himalay Singh, ex-Corps Commander 16 Corps, former Chairman Manipur Public Service Commission. Thongolai Haukip, Associate Professor, Center for the Study of Law and Governance at JNU, former advisor to the Kuki Students Organization or KSO. And Bina Lakshmi Nepram, Founder Director, Manipur Women Gun Survivor Network. I appreciate all my guests joining us. Let me come to you first, Bina Lakshmi, and ask you the question, do you believe that the Prime Minister's visit is too little too late? Or is it simply now another opportunity, a window of hope that we have that Manipur's ethnic divide can finally be bridged with a healing touch from the Prime Minister?
Thank you, Rajdeep. First of all, Manipur continues to be a wounded state. I have just come back from different, what is known as buffer zones, areas where communities who have been living in community with each other, trading, exchanging vegetables, marriage alliances, they've all been cut till today, where barbed wires and Indian military are on those particular areas. I've just come from visiting some of them. So the Prime Minister's visit, Rajdeep, for me as an analyst, we are just 2 years down the Manipur elections. This is, for me, as a scholar, it is a stunt for politics, because 2 years down the line, the 8,500 crore deposit or the investment that is announcing, Manipur today, if you come to Manipur, the roads are full of potholes. There is no development in the way it should be. Of course, there are trains coming and all of that, but genuine development has not happened. Families are still hurting. There's 70,000 families who have lost, everything. They're still, many of them still living in pathetic conditions.
We'll try and go back to Bina Lakshmi in a moment, but Thongolal Haukip, do you believe that the real challenge is to provide justice? There are thousands of people who still live in relief camps. There are people still fearful, cookies, fearful to go back to their work that they had in Imphal and vice versa. Meiteis who cannot go into Churachandpur. How do you bridge the trust divide? Is delivery of justice the real challenge?
Rajdeep, you rightly pointed it out. Even before the ground for visit of Prime Minister Modi is prepared, I think justice must be, justice must prevail. Look into the demands of various Kuki Joe groups. They are still crying for justice of the murder of David Cake, the burning of baby Tonsing, and many others. And if you look into the cases that are handled by NIA, there's no future insight regarding these cases, particularly by the Kuki-Joe communities. On the other hand, you find that various excesses committed by the Kuki-Joe side, they have been, delivered justice. They are under trial in the NIA. So this is the kind of disparity in terms of justice. And before he could visit, this kind of...
No, are you saying, are you telling me, Mr. Haukip, that cookies have... No, 1 minute. Are you telling me cookies have not got justice and meiteis have got justice? Because I have heard meiteis telling me just the opposite. They claim that they are not also getting justice, and the kuki groups have been blocking the highways, blocking the roads, while the meiteis claim that they are not getting justice either.
No, Rajdeep, the Kuki-Joe groups never blocked the highway. Even at the peak of the conflict, there were just a few instances of 1 or 2 days blockade, and then the highway were released of any other, transportation. So there's no case of the highway being blocked. Since it is a conflict situation, for a full, free transportation in terms of civilians and other, it will take time. But in terms of essential commodities, in terms of any other, the Kuki-Joe groups never block these national highways. So, and if you look into the problem...
No, but that's not entirely true. No, Mr. Haukip, that's not entirely true. Who blocked... I don't want to get into a blame game, but the fact of the matter is, if I'm a Meitei who was living in Churachandpur and pushed out and had to go back to Imphal, I've struggled to go back to Churachandpur and vice versa, which is where I come. There is the delivery of justice and there is a need to restore trust deficit. Lieutenant General Konzam Himalay Singh, how are you going to bridge this trust deficit? The truth of the matter is that the Prime Minister is visiting Manipur, good, but what about the fact that for the last 2.5 years, there has been a political vacuum of sorts. The Biren Singh government was accused of being openly partisan in favor of the Meiteis. Groups like Arambal, Tengol were allowed, militias of the Meitei groups were allowed to virtually run amok during May, June last year of 2023. Who is going to deliver justice? Is a prime ministerial visit going to deliver justice? Simply inaugurating 8,500 crores worth of projects is not delivering justice, surely, General.
Rajdeep, thank you very much. At the outset, I must tell you that Rajdeep, delivering justice is a perceptional issue. What happens is there are more than 20,000 FIRs there. More than, I think it is a little more than 20,000 FIRs as far as this
That's
crisis.
right, more than 20,000.
Yeah. So, see, one can't say that, so-and-so is victim, so-and-so is victim. We have to look at it from a national interest point of view and interest of the people at large. Justice will come. Let me assure you, the long arm of justice will come someday. It is just a question of time. So I think both sides need not unduly get worried about who is getting justice now and who is not getting justice now. As far as the Prime Minister's visit is concerned, I think...
No, sir, but with due regard again, General, what about groups? Sir, with due regard, you're saying justice will come, but groups like Arambol, Tengol had state patronage. And they are the ones who are being held responsible for the violence that took place in Imphal. Now, who's going to act against them? They still get away. Nobody has cracked down on them.
Rajdeep,
it is not just about the armed militia groups, but Manipur is home to 60 armed
Just a minute, Bina Lakshmi. Please let the General complete. Please let the General complete. Please let the General complete. Yeah, go ahead, General.
So, Bina Lakshmi, I think she just opened the account by saying there are more than 50 odd armed groups. Most of them are banned. Many of them are under some kind of an agreement. Some of them are still existing. So actually, one can't really blame one alone. It is the entire illegally, established armed gangs all over. I'm not saying any one community. All the communities have armed gangs which are fighting against, if not against the Indian state, against the constitution, against Manipur. So therefore, I think we have to take it. You mentioned about Arambai Tengol. And in fact, I saw in the social media, they were the first one to welcome Prime Minister to Manipur as far as the visit is concerned. So actually, in a situation where there has been so much of mistrust, so much of violence, actually it's very difficult actually to say that, so-and-so, only one group has been, to be targeted. I think all the groups
Sir, I take it. But who is... Yeah. Okay, I take that point, sir. I take that point, but who is going to disarm these armed groups, Bina Lakshmi Nepram? You see, there are so many arms that have been flowing in, and there's a belief that some have come across the border from Myanmar. There are these armed groups, some in the Kuki area, some in the Meitei areas. Who's going to disarm them? Isn't that the big challenge first?
Yes, absolutely. This is why I think disarmament process is a must. And there is where the government of India is actually failing in its duty. And I hope New Delhi is listening to this program, that government of India is failing in its duty to take arms out of civilian hands in both hills and the valley. Until this is done, Rajdeep, then our lives, both in the hills and the valley of Manipur, will be controlled by men with guns who are close to guns, drugs, and political power. So I think unless this criminality of our democracy, criminality of our lives are done away with, Manipur will never, ever have peace. Right now, the Prime Minister's visit, as I said, is coming at a time when mothers are still waiting for more than many missing children. We have not 33 missing till today, and many others who are still living in relief camps. The Prime Minister of India failed in it. If today, Manipuri people, both in the hills of Barry, do a report card of the Prime Minister, he's supposed to be a constitutional head. He's supposed to safeguard the fundamental rights, freedom of life, freedom of speech. He's supposed to safeguard national security. He has failed. Mr. Prime Minister, you have failed on all these counts. You may have executive and administrative the things done in terms of getting food to the relief camps. But the Prime Minister and his cabinet have failed. As a result, Manipuri people give the report card that you have only got 50% done. His coming is not because he wants to hug us. He wants to,
let's be fair.
Hearts of those who have been lost. But he's coming because elections is in 2 years. So please stop playing with our lives. Our democracy is to
Let's be fair. Bina Lakshmi,
not
1 minute.
politics.
Bina Lakshmi, ma'am, be fair. When the Prime Minister didn't come for 2.5 years, it was said, where is the Prime Minister? Now he's coming, and it said it's coming with an eye on the election. But Mr. Haukim, what do you want to hear from the Prime Minister? What do you want to hear? What do the kuki groups? Yesterday night, some kuki protesters tried to pull away posters of the Prime Minister. They tried to keep coffins near the stage where he's going to give a speech. What do cookies want to hear? What is the message from the Prime Minister you want to hear?
Rajdeep, New Delhi's policy to the Northeast always has been two-pronged. One is political and the other is, economic. This time when the Prime Minister wants to visit Manipur, he has only adopted an economic approach. That is, announcing and inaugurating some developmental projects. And he neglected the political one, the political, solution of the present crisis. And if you look into these developmental packages also, out of the 21 projects, you would find that 11 of the projects are mainly concentrated with Imphal Valley, and some of them in the Naga areas, and 1 or 2 only in the Churachandpur district and other Kukizo areas. And even if you look into infrastructure creation in some districts, it is only in Kaching and Kamjong, not a single district in the newly created district of the hill areas. So particularly the Kukijo areas. So if you look into this, why should the Prime Minister visit Churachandpur to inaugurate just 2, developmental projects in the district? Why can't he go to Okhrul, where he is planning to release about, hundreds of crores in this, Naga areas? So the cookies have this.
So what sir, Mr. Haukim, what do you want to hear from him? Sir, it's one thing about what do you want the Prime Minister to say that will give you confidence? Very quickly, what do you want the Prime Minister to say?
If the government of India is reluctant to interfere into the territorial integrity of Manipur, let him look into the particular demands. If you look into the hill areas of the Northeast, you have some forms of political autonomy since independence. And Tripura has been added into this, account in the early 80s. Manipur has been demanding this for the last 45 years, and there has been no, progress in this because Imphal Valley is opposing to these demands of political autonomy within the state. So this is the main problem, and he should come with some.
So you're asking So you want the Prime Minister to announce some kind of political autonomy or some kind of council for the Kuki-dominated areas. Unlikely to happen on this visit, but I want to give you General Konsam Himalay Singh a final word. What would you like to hear from the Prime Minister? What is it that would give you a sense that yes, things are on the right track?
Firstly, the visit of Prime Minister must be welcome. It is not an everyday affair. Secondly, what I would like to hear about from the Prime Minister is Honorable Prime Minister must ensure that he addresses the national security perspective, what is happening in the Indo-Myanmar borders. And in addition to that, he must address, because it is not about just the ethnic crisis, it's about national security concern. That's what I would like him to understand and appreciate. And the second issue is that whatever is affecting the people of Manipur, the crisis has made Manipur, gone back by at least 20, 30 years. So I want him to address the political, economic, and other social issues which are known to the people in Delhi. I want that the Prime Minister should take a decisive action to bring peace. This is what I would like to hear from him in this 3 hours visit to Manipur.
Okay.
he must give some kind of a,
Okay.
you know,
As I said,
broad,
a flying
broad
visit for... Okay.
broad
A
perspective
flying
as to-
visit... A flying visit from the Prime Minister may not be enough, but like it or not, it is a step forward. Yes, Veena Lakshmi, I'm giving you 30 seconds and no more.
Rajdeep, the Prime Minister's visit is too little, too late. He should have come before. He should have come before. He has the moral authority to be able, it is in his duty to do so, and he failed to do so. So the people of Manipur, the integrity of Manipur will remain sacrosanct. While it is important that the grievances of all the 35 ethnic groups which are recognized by the government of Manipur, their grievances must be looked into. At the same time, to know that we are not to be played around for their political game, that for more than 70 years, 3.3 people, Manipuris, we've been living under martial law. We've been living under militarization and weaponization of our lives. And this must stop. Peace talks done only with men with guns must be stopped and ensure that people of all communities must be, and together with the women groups, we're able to build a Manipur that is well-deserving for every ethnic group to live together in peace and harmony.
I'm going to stop I've run out of time. I've listened to all the voices. I've listened to all of you. It's not an easy challenge, but it's a challenge that must be met. It's probably the government's biggest internal security challenge at the moment. I appreciate my guest joining me on that talking point. Unfortunately, most primetime channels will not tell you about Manipur, and that's one of the many tragedies. We can talk about that separately. I want to turn, though, to another story, another controversy this time over the big India-Pakistan match that's going to take place in the Asia Cup on Sunday. Now, groups like the Shiv Sena UBT, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray, are demanding that India should have boycotted the match, and they're going to start a campaign against them. There's also an online campaign being started by right-wing groups who are saying the match should not have taken place and are targeting the BCCI. Is this the right time to be playing Pakistan? I'll be joined by two cricketers in a moment. Is this the right time to be playing Pakistan? Is India-Pakistan cricket simply war minus the shooting, to quote from a famous book? Should politics or sports be dealing from politics? Is that at all possible? As I said, is this the right time to play for Pakistan, against Pakistan? Those are some of the questions I will raise. Joining me now, Shishir Hattangdi. He's a former Mumbai cricket captain, and that's how he should be supered. Kirti Azad is former India cricketer and, of course, a MP of the Trinamool Congress. I appreciate both of you joining us. First to you, Shishir Hattangdi, because I see you there on screen. You tell me, is this the right time to be playing Pakistan, or will this match invariably be seen in the context of what happened in Pahalgam a few months ago, and will it affect the players? Tell us from a cricketer's perspective.
Well, from a cricketer's perspective, first and foremost, Rajdeep, I think the cricketers themselves will disconnect from the sound. There is a lot of angst and a controversy and debate about whether we actually should be playing against Pakistan. I think everybody is aware that the geopolitical environment does not allow India to play against Pakistan, given that, the tensions between the two countries and, of course, what has happened in the last few months isn't a good environment to play cricket against any country. And the players, of course, are obliged to play because the board asked them to play. And, the ramifications of not playing in an ICC tournament or Asia Cup or, could have a cascading effect even in terms of the vote bank if India is to bid for the Olympics. So, there are various other issues that actually force India to play this tournament as a cricket team. But from an Indian sentiment, I can understand why people and the fan or the Indian supporter doesn't want the game to be played between two countries that are actually undergoing a lot of tension amongst themselves.
You're saying that from an Indian perspective, you can understand the fans' anger, but do you believe that, as I said, how do players react to each other? Do they see themselves? Kirti Azad is back with us. Appreciate your joining us, Kirti. What's your view? Should India be playing Pakistan? Is this the right time for the two countries, or does Pahalgam affect the nature of the relationship, Mr. Azad?
Well, I had always supported that politics should not be brought into when you're playing something. But then I'll go back a few years when you had apartheid in South Africa. Everybody boycotted South Africa and Rhodesia. You had the Moscow Olympics, the entire Western Bloc had boycotted that. So to prove a point, you got to do something which you feel. As an Indian, I really feel bad about those 26 people who were killed by the Pakistanis, and the person whom we were blaming, Asif Munir, became the vice chairman of the anti-terrorist association of the countries. So, a situation where nobody is really listening to you, you have a point to make to the entire world to let them know that Pakistan is basically a terrorist nation. We've already spoke about Operation Sindoor, but when it comes to cricket, it is Chashme Baddur. You become friends. I mean, this is very strange. And there is a lot of conflict of interest. A lot of people are not talking about the person who is the president of the ICC chairman. His father is the Honorable Home Minister back home in India. And one in Parliament, you come out and speak so aggressively, saying as if the Operation Sindoor has not stopped. And here you are playing a game. One game does not make a difference. I think it's very simple. We got to prove a point. We got the world to know, because if India is playing against Pakistan, the entire world, wherever the Indians are, they watch the game. They're watching it. So once you don't watch a game, it becomes a talking point.
So are you saying India should have boycotted? No, Kirti Azad, let's be clear. No, Kirti Azad, you are drawing an analogy with apartheid. During the apartheid in South Africa, the world boycotted South Africa. The world is not boycotting Pakistan. Are you saying India should boycott Pakistan? The world is not joining us in boycotting Pakistan. That's not like South Africa. The world was ready to boycott South Africa.
Exactly. So we've not been able to prove a point. I mean, we had Pulwama that happened. We've had Pathankot that has happened. We have had Uri that has happened in our country, and yet we are not able to make a point. So where is our foreign policy? This is the best way to say to the world is, we're not playing one of the most popular games in India. Cricket is like a religion in our country. And we simply let the people know. I mean, let the Indians talk about it amongst themselves, to their friends everywhere abroad, wherever they are, OCIs, NRIs, or whatever. Let them speak to the world and let them know why we're not playing against Pakistan. If the government cannot do, I'm sure the people of India can do.
No, so you would have boycotted the match? No. You would have advised the BCCI to boycott the match and even forfeit the points if necessary? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. Why not? My country comes first, then comes anything else. Whether it's ICC or BCCI or XYZ, my country comes first. अभी तक तो चिताएं ठंडी नहीं हुई उन 26 लोगों की.
Shishir Atagdi?
Yes,
do you believe that it is possible to do that? Is Kirti Azad giving us a situation? The reality is that India-Pakistan cricket drives this Asia Cup. It's the commerce.
Oh, yes, it is the commerce, but there are more things to life than commerce, Rajdeep, and we all know that. I mean, as a cricketer, of course, if you're in the mix and you're playing for the country, you will be instructed by the authorities to play. But ask any cricketer and putting his hand on his heart whether he feels comfortable about playing a team that actually, is involved in a tragedy of 26 lives. He'll say, no, I'd rather not be playing. But he's going by the diktat of the authorities. And I think most cricketers feel that way. I feel that way. I think every cricket lover feels that way. That, this is not the right environment to be playing. I know the ramifications. I keep talking about ramifications because the broadcasting, it comes down to commerce, then it comes down to the broadcasting money, it comes down to, the vote bank for the ICC and the vote bank for the Olympics and all that. But the real fact is that I would have personally said, okay, let's forfeit the points and go on and play in the tournament. It's at least a show of strength, a show of solidarity, and more importantly, it's about taking a stand on the issue.
Okay, you believe it's taking a stand on an issue. 30 seconds, Kirti Azad. Do you believe, though, that the Indian government could have put pressure on BCCI? Because ultimately the government gave the clearance.
It's no question of putting pressure. Government simply tells them not to play. If the government says that no Indus Water Treaty, if you're going to have no trade with Pakistan, why? Because of what? The terrorism that I've been using. We have been talking about this. No, terror and talks can't go together. We say that water and blood can't flow together. You are stopping Indus water. You are stopping trade. What stops you from just telling your people, telling your players that you're not going to play? Or you simply tell the ICC. It's not. Nothing is greater than the nation, my dear.
Okay.
Nothing is greater. No individual is greater. No institution is greater than the nation.
Okay.
That's what matters most to us.
No institution. Okay, no institution is greater than the nation. Country first, according to Kirti Azad and Shishira Tangdi. This perhaps not the appropriate time to have played Pakistan. I'll tell you, I am a great supporter of Indo-Pak cricket, but even I have my question whether this was the right time to be playing India-Pakistan, particularly as the government says Operation Sindoor is still continuing. I appreciate Shishir Hatangdi, Kirti Azad joining me on the news today. Okay, let's leave you with our image tonight, this Friday night, ahead of the weekend. CP Radhakrishnan of the Bharatiya Janata Party, two-time MP, former governor of states like Maharashtra and Jharkhand, was sworn in today as the 15th Vice President of the country. It was a ceremony that was attended by the who's who of the Modi government, and significantly, Jagdeep Dhankar, who dramatically resigned as Vice President in July, made his first public appearance in almost 2 months. I leave you with our image of the day, CP Radhakrishnan being sworn in as the Vice President of the country. We wish him well and hope that he will maintain the high standards that were set by someone who shared his surname, the great Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. I often ask myself, kahan gaye wo log? Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubhratri. Jai Hind, Namaskar.
I, Chandraviram Ponnusamy Radhakrishnan,
do swear in the name of God
do swear in the name of God
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of India
to the Constitution of India
as by law established,
and
that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.